Final news segment of 2025 here. I got videos going live for the rest of the year, so don't worry, you can still find me on YouTube, but this is it, boys, the final stream of the year for 2025. We got news to get into. We got stuff to talk about. Final tier lists for Midnight. I'm going to talk about those. We got some really cool stuff to get into, and the final statistics of all the Mythic runs this year, how it's all looking and shaping out for the end of 2025 in World of Warcraft. So let's just jump straight in. Boys, the trading post for January, if you're into red, it actually looks kind of good, really. This is a redded out trading post. So here we go. Let's check out some of the items here. We got the Savage Crimson Battle Turtle. I don't know why this looks like Ultra 4K. This looks like some kind of Final Fantasy mount with the wrinkles in the neck. I don't know what it is. Throw me off a little bit. But yeah, you can get yourself a nice little turtle mount. A cool looking helm here with the Crimson Winter Torque and an ensemble as well to go with it. We also see the Witches ensemble, kind of Harry Potter-esque, right? Nice little sorting hat there. The Iron Chain Kini, the thing that you'd want to see worn in real life, but probably will mostly be worn by males playing female characters. Let's be honest with ourselves. But still, a really nice piece of eye candy here if you want to go get it off the trading post. Definitely one to go get. A nice little quiver here for those of you quivering between your legs after seeing that Chain Kini. We also see a nice little shield, the crest of the unending woe. Okay? Nice little swordy boy here, one-handed Crusaders, Ruby Blade. You see a little bit of a theme here. There's very Crusader-esque month here in January. I don't know what Blizzard's trying to hint at, but we're bringing back the Crusades. We also see a two-handed version of this, the Crusaders Ruby Great Blade. And then finally, a nice little bow boy here that's red as well. Ooh, this one's kind of cool. A Ruby Mace. Yeah, this one will give you a headache if you get hit in the head with it. Also the same thing in a two-handed mace version. Blizzard should just make two-handers bigger at the tip. I don't like how they increase the shaft. You know what I mean? Just make the tip larger, and that'll be much better. You can put it all on the tip. No one wants a longer shaft. It just looks weird. Axe Crimson Crescent as well here. Nice-looking axe. And then a couple more items that you can buy from previous trading posts. The end of the month reward for capping this thing out in January is a badass-looking Crusader set. I'll be honest, this thing looks really, really cool. It's called the Ensemble of the Vengeful Regalia of the Crusader. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but badass looking set, honestly. This looks like a preset. It does look like a preset, but those shoulders certainly could be worn with a plate set or anything else. It's a nice looking set. Definitely a nice looking set. Nice looking trading post to kick off the year for 2026. Moving on to some other stuff. Where the fuck is the housing festive decor? I talked about housing being a thing, and I said how excited I was for all the housing decor to be very festive this year. We're missing the damn tree. The Winter Veil tree was data mined a long time ago, and it looks like we're not getting it before Christmas. I don't know, maybe it was going to break the game. God knows what the hell was going to happen with this thing, but the Winter Veil tree has not been made available, and Christmas, as of right now, as I speak, is 2 days away. So when is Blizzard going to put this in the game? Probably not this year. But players have gotten creative. This guy here on Reddit made his own tree by putting a bunch of bushes in succeeding fashion up the tree, even put ornaments on it, little pillows. Leave it up to the WoW players to get creative here. Nice looking Christmas tree. And I don't think we're going to get a tree this year, but hey, make your house as festive as you possibly can anyways. Why not? New training battleground coming. So we already know this is happening. There's going to be a quest with this thing when pre-patch hits that'll give you a piece of heroic gear. That's right. So the new training grounds, which will be essentially a play against AI PvP mode, where you can kind of learn how to get your finger, how you get your butt popped open by other players without actually playing against other players. So you can get in here, do this thing. There's going to be a nice quest that actually gives everyone a piece of your choice, ring or necklace heroic gear. This will be a nice little catch-up here for players who are bringing an alt up to their main, maybe for the Midnight expansion or something else, but it's a good way to kind of get people to dabble in the new PvP match. We'll try this out in 2026 when I'm back and pre-patches live. Besides that, guys, we're wrapping it all up. 2025 in a nutshell. How's it looking right now in terms of Mythic Plus for both retail and remix? And let's look at the final numbers here. So final numbers for 2025 as we compare the War Within to Dragonflight. And we saw, really, the War Within, this solid blue line for the final season, really took a nosedive towards the end here, lower than any of the previous seasons, but it's really unfair to judge it as the previous seasons because you see, like, the next lowest thing is Dragonflight Season 4, this green line, and they weren't competing with Legion Remix. So every player that left to play Legion Remix affected this line quite a lot. So looking at this, taking it with a grain of salt, it's not as big of a deal as we saw. And actually, in this final week of the year, it looks like they overtook Dragonflight again. So the War Within once again above the final season of Dragonflight here. Honestly, pretty solid numbers overall throughout the season. Not a massive drop-off, nothing too crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, we're seeing what final season of the War Within, an 89.77% drop-off from the start of the first season to the finale of the grand finale of it all. Look, it's not as big, I should say, the start of this season to the grand finale. It's not anything we haven't seen before. If you look at all the other seasons, similar drop-offs have happened. And again, there was no kind of way to compare this to other seasons where a remix event has been live. We've seen a remix event before, Mists of Pandaria, but nothing in Dragonflight quite like this. So there you go. Not bad in terms of health of the overall season. If we look at the splits, overall, you see kind of the drop-off, right? But it kind of has leveled out here towards the end when we're looking at the War Within Season 3 as we head into midnight. And then finally over here, looking at the Legion remix numbers, we actually see a little bit of a pop-off, right? You would expect that kind of the final part of Legion remix as, you know, the dungeons get more and more creative, or I should say lootable. Everything kind of got buffed. People are finishing out their final tunes. You see a little bit of an uptick here, which makes sense considering we're also seeing a downtick in retail. So, you know, as I said, players go from one to the other, and it kind of hurts one and the other. Looking at the final numbers here, what is this reading? Of course it is. Eco Dome Eldani finished as the favorite of the final season of the War Within. No surprise here. It's, you know, it was a really good dungeon. I said that the first day I played it when the season went live, I said this is going to be the best one. Arakara, the shittiest one. People don't like it. Not a huge difference between the best and the worst. We've seen worse in terms of differentials. So not too bad, but overall, just people, you know, never really got the hang of Arakara. I think it's those first couple pulls. They just really blasted people apart, and people never really mastered it. The most done keys throughout the season, 10 and 12. No surprise there. The highest key done, 22. 22 looks like it was the highest key completed after that complete drop-off there. So good to see. Was there a 23 completed? No, I don't think so. That's a 0. So yeah, 22 looks like the highest key completed. Looking at Legion Remix Dungeons, Halls of Valor was the most fun, and Seat of the Triumvirate was the least. Vault of the Incarnates, of course. Yeah, not Vault of the Incarnates, Vault of the Wardens. Also, never one of my favorites even during Legion Remix, but all pretty even for the most part. Everyone's OP right now, so you would expect kind of, you know, not a big drop-off from the worst to the best. Everyone's just doing whatever the hell they want. Overall, though, numbers looking, you know, decently healthy as we head into midnight here. But what are you going to play once you're at midnight? Let's look at the most up-to-date tier lists here as we head into midnight. We got DPS taking and healing. First off, if you see a green arrow up, that means they've moved up a tier list in the list here since we last saw it. So Frost Mage up on here. We got our S tier. Frost Mage, Devastation Evoker, Augmentation Evoker. Whoa, Augmentation in the S tier. Yeah, this list can't be that accurate. I don't know, that's crazy. Okay, Augmentation up here in S tier. Unholy Death Knight, Arcane Mage. So we got the Arcane Mage moving up. That was a nice move up there from the last time we saw this list. At your A+, Affliction Warlock, Survival Hunter, Elemental Shaman, down from S tier. Frost Death Knight, Destro Warlock, and Furry Warriors are up, and then Fire Mage will move down from the S tier as well. So there are your A+ tier. Looking pretty good. Unholy Boy, yeah, Unholy have been doing pretty good lately. We got looking at the A tier now. Marksmanship Hunter has moved up here, and Arms Warrior has moved up. Shadow Priest has moved down from A+ to A. We also see Ass Rogue and Devourer Demon Hunter sitting here in the middle. That's your new Demon Hunter spec. Now, typically you expect these new specs to come out and be completely broken. We'll see if Devourer is, but for now it looks like it's sitting in the A tier here. We got B tier. Outlaw Rogue has moved down into B tier, as well as Enhancement Shaman. The classes moving up into B tier are Havoc Demon Hunter and Sub-Titty Rogue. Then we also have Retribution Paladin and Balanced Druid sitting where they previously were. C tier, we see Beast Mastery Hunter moving down. Beast Mastery Hunter was previously like one of the favorites going in, so we'll see where Beast Mastery ends up standing, but I previously saw them like all the way up near S tier. Now they're down at C, so maybe some more rebalancing here. We'll see Feral Druid sitting in the D tier with Windwalker Monk, and then unsure yet, Demonology Warlock looks like it's still a work in progress here. We'll see where they end up going. Let's move on to the tanks. And you know me, I play Blood DK, so this is my chart, right? This is what I'm looking at to see how things are looking. We see S tier. Vengeance Demon Hunter sitting all by itself there at the S tier, followed by A+ tier, the only class in A+, Protection Paladin. Protection Paladin has moved up from A to A+. I feel like Paladins are always in a good spot. Blizzard just freaking loves them. Yeah. A tier, we see Protection Warrior and Brewmaster Monk. Previously, Protection Warrior in this last season was probably, I would say, the S+ of this season. It was the Race to World first tank of choice. It's been the tank of choice for a little while here. So yeah, Prot Warrior doing a good thing. Looks like it's still A tier. And then B, we see Guardian and Blood DK. Now, I see some of you already laughing in the chat at me. Yeah, I play Blood DK. It's all I play. I'm known to be one of the best in the world. And the thing is, look, I invite the challenge. I never switch. I never change. I don't go looking for the best of the best. I am the best of the best. So I'll play wherever they could put me in freaking E tier for all I care, and I'm going to play the shit out of my class. That's right. Blood DK will be what I ride and die with forever, and I don't give a shit. In fact, I get excited when I see this. Gives me a little bit, gives me some feelings down in my groin because I'm ready to take on the challenge of being a B tier tank and tank better than every Vengeance Demon Hunter out there. That's the plan. That's what I'm going to do. And you could take those assless leather chaps that you wear as a Vengeance Demon Hunter and go right off into the sunset with it because my Blood DK is going to be the best tank around. That's right. So playing Blood DK, what I'll continue to do, and I suggest you do the same with whatever class you want to play. Let's check out the healers. We finally got healers here. And looks like Restoration Druid sitting in the S tier, followed by Restoration Shaman sitting in the A tier. B tier here, we have Discipline Priest and Holy Paladin. C tier, we got Mistweaver Monk and Preservation Evoker. And then unsure yet, Holy Priest. That makes sense. I've seen a lot of reworking going on with Holy Priest. We'll see where Holy Priest ends up sitting. Now, the one thing I will say about this one, the only healer that will be able to interrupt, right, because of the totem, in Midnight will be Restoration Shaman. So we'll see if Resto Shaman, even though it's sitting in A tier here, might become the meta healer, at least for the first season of Mythic Plus. Seeing all this works out. Now, I don't know. It depends on how really interrupt looks. Blizzard's saying there's going to be less interrupts, so maybe it won't matter as much. But for the most part, Restoration Shaman, I think, could be the meta just because of that. And then sitting in A tier also, that means they're going to have pretty good healing. So we'll see where all that stands. And for now, for the finale of 2025, that is all in terms of news. I'll be back January 12th. Don't you worry about it. Plenty of YouTube content coming out before I come back as well. So stay tuned on that.